Hello everyone! In this video we're going to be decorating the first of these 4 townhouses that I made as a shell. If you would like to try this shell, it is on the gallery and it is also linked down in the description. There's also a hashtag for that, which I will have on screen. So if you would like to see a video where I tour your submissions, I would really love it if you use that hashtag so I could find them. So this first one is going to be a cafe, but of course if you try this one you can do anything you would like to. And I really wanted to have an apartment upstairs as well as a bathroom, so that's what those 2 smaller rooms in the back are. And I am using this beautiful brick from Businesses and Hobbies, as well as this also really beautiful flooring, which is wood, and it's actually base game, but only if you play the newest event. The Blast from the Past event, I think it was called. And there's that coffee bar, and I also wanted to have a fireplace because Sims really like fireplaces in businesses. And that one is so cool, it's just like something that you can tuck in one of the corners, so I thought that one was perfect. But it doesn't go all the way to the top because it's regular wall height and this was minimum wall height, so I added a range hood, one of the ones that hang from the ceiling. And then behind that coffee bar, I added some counters, but I decided to actually only add quarter counters. So at this point I'm testing the normal counters, but I didn't like it, so I ended up making them all those smaller corner counters. And I think it looks alright, and it also looks a bit more natural because I think that the coffee grinder being so far away from the coffee maker is a bit weird, or the espresso machine. And I also really wanted to include some more of these tea packets because I was including one of the electric kettles, which I think are so cool, and I use my electric kettle a lot, so I added too many bills, and since this one was a cafe, I thought that was nice to have it here as well. And I have them in this sort of almost golden color, because that's the color of the wall lights that I was using. And I also added this nice chalkboard. This one is from Cottage Living, and I almost never use it because it is a very specific item. It even has chalk and everything, and it's cute. It's got a bunch of different swatches with different drawings, and I guess I also forget it exists, so yeah, I was glad that I could add it, and it maybe has some specials besides the menu, which is also written with chalk. And I wanted to have a bunch of books. I wanted it to be one of those cafes where you can borrow a book and just read by yourself, or you can hang out with another person, so I have also the sitting area. And I include a record player. I have it on top of on this little table, which looks like it could store some vinyls underneath, so that's why I chose that one. And I think that it looks cute with this smaller coffee table or bedside table, whatever you would want it to be. It's supposed to be a bedside table for toddlers, but I think it works really well as a coffee table, and I really liked those chairs with the brown and the black, which were the colors that I was using in this space. And I will also add a table in here. I decided to have 4 chairs in here. This table and the chairs are from Businesses and Hobbies, and outside I did use these chairs. But I chose to have a different table because this one didn't look like it was great for an outside, so I decided to use one that looked more outdoorsy, which was from Get Together. And I think that for the interior of this space, this is looking pretty nice. But then I remembered that I really wanted to have a changing table in the bathroom, and I noticed that it doesn't fit, so I had to make it a little bit bigger and kind of scoot everything over a little bit, which made me a bit nervous, but actually everything fit perfectly. And also when I pulled the wall that's behind the counters, they were all at the same height as they were supposed to be, so that was a relief. And then I just had to adjust the trash can and the planting, and it looked much better than before when I had the window inside. But that does mean that this bathroom has a bunch of windows, so I did use some curtains from high school years. They are curtains that let the light pass through, but I think they should give enough privacy, especially since there's some plants outside, so it wouldn't be possible to be too close to the windows anyway. And also, hopefully the sink blocks the view a little bit from this side. But yeah, it was very important for me for the bathroom to be sort of family friendly and have that changing table, even if there's no high chair or anything inside this cafe. Maybe there should be. I'll think about adding one before I upload this. I am going to upload this once the whole thing is done, So my version, the complete version of this, is going to be on the gallery as well as the shell. But of course, right now you can only see the shell because it wouldn't really make sense for me to upload every single version that this is going to go through. But yeah, these are the tables that I had mentioned. And underneath that pergola, I just added a base game table, and I added the same small plant that I was adding everywhere because I thought that was nice for the center of the table. I added those plants that I had mentioned, and I also decided to have the trash can here on this corner because it felt a little bit blank. And I am adding these trees that match with the fence that I was using, which is from City Living. I really like this fence. I love the tile that it has, and those trees look very, I suppose, familiar to me. They look like the sort of tree that you would see in a space like this. But yeah, now we're going to be moving on into the apartment. I am using the same flooring in this space, and I really liked how the staircase wraps around this space. And it's a small space, but I made it into an office. So the rest of it is just a studio apartment, which I meant for 2 people to live in. And actually, I was really inspired by my brother. I just kept thinking, what kind of space would he like to live in? Because my brother really likes coffee, and he also really likes playing the guitar and technology. So I made sure to have a computer and some stuff like amplifiers for the guitar and everything. And I went for this color scheme that is very brown and black with a little bit of blue and other colors. And actually, when I showed him the finished build, he said he really liked it, and I was like, good, because I was hoping that this was going to be a space more or less made to your taste. So yeah, that made me very happy. And I also added that shelf that we just got from the Pride update. I added the one with the gay flag because I always thought that 2 men would live in here. But I didn't really want a lot of flags or anything in here, so that was just like a simple, more or less discreet thing that you could have in here. And I wanted them to have a lot of books and some more music in here. I think that they really enjoy those 2 things, as well as coffee. And I added a bunch of these smaller bookcases just because I felt like they looked like realistic clutter, and I really wanted to fill this space under the stairs. So this made sense to me, and I really like those the book stacks from the Comfy Gamer kit. I sized one of them down, but I didn't choose to have anything on top of them because I really like the cover on the stack that I kept the normal size. And I added some crates of vinyl in here as well, and some magazines. I also wanted to have a record player in here, so I added this one, which is different to the ones that is inside. And it also has a few more records in it, so that looked a bit more realistic. And I was going to add the amplifiers in here, but I thought that maybe I would have more space for that upstairs, so I just added an acoustic guitar and the electric guitar from Businesses and Hobbies. I added upstairs. And I just think that this is such a cute, cozy little office. I really wanted to have a coffee mug in here. And also I think that that gold and brown laptop looks really nice in there. And I made sure to add some headphones and a hat next to this alarm. I forgot to add an alarm inside. So that's another thing that I'm going to have to add before I upload this. But I did remember to keep the temperature controls. I also really wanted to have this sort of like big stenciled thing here on this wall because it's just a big wall since all of this was lofted. So I thought that it would be nice to have that since I couldn't have any windows. And I am using this base game kitchen set and the Growing Together appliances. I also wanted to have this menu from the Cozy Bistro Kit. I think it looks cute, and actually I will come back much later in the video to add some more stuff to it. Right now I think I just added the sink, the coffee maker, and the shelf, the one from For Rent, with some clutter, but I go back and clutter it a little bit more, and also to add some clutter on top of the fridge. So I raised these cabinets a little bit, which was fine since this wall is so tall. And I also added some black aprons, which are the same as I had added downstairs, because I think that a lot of times when I go to a coffee place, they have black aprons. It's so common for them to have those. And if the apron isn't black, they have some other black shirt underneath. So yeah, that made a lot of sense to me. Oh, and these Sims have a cat. So I added some cat scratching posts, and this is their very small dining room. I really wanted to have this poster from the Cozy Bistro Kit, and I was thinking that maybe they had commissioned it from an artist, so maybe those are the two people who live in here, although maybe they don't dress quite so traditionally, since this apartment is very obviously a modernized version of these townhouses. That's also why I picked more modern plumbing in the bathroom downstairs, and here in the upstairs I did keep a more traditional toilet. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the bedroom nook, and it is very tight, but it does function for two Sims to sleep in this bed. And I added the tall side table from Businesses and Hobbies, as well as the stool from that back. So those are the bedside tables that I was going for, and I am using this wardrobe as a divider as well as an actual divider, but I had to size it down because of how tight this space actually was. And this is the living room space. They have a television, more books, the guitar that I was mentioning, and they have, I think, only seating from Businesses and Hobbies, and the lamp should also be from there. They match with this table from Eco Lifestyle pretty well, and I wanted something a little bit more traditional, so I went with a rug from Werewolves, and I wanted to have this book nook side table and tray. I added the tray downstairs as well, just because I love it so much, and it just looks so cozy and perfect, and it just feels like the kind of thing that they would have in here, and it just made sense for it to also exist downstairs. Oh, and since I had a bit of an awkward corner in there, I decided to have the cat bed, and I ended up making the guitar this sort of creamy color. My brother's favorite color is red actually, but I felt like the red wasn't looking the best in here, and you might have seen that I accidentally added some trim on the outside of this building. I had to fix that, so the trim is only on that on the stairwell. But I also had to adjust these windows from the outside so that I could actually fit some more books in here. And I also decided to raise the blinds a little bit, just because I had this space for it, and because I didn't want them to sort of look like they were clipping with this bookshelf. But yeah, those are those amplifiers that I had mentioned. I also have some more, like an older photo on top of this bookcase, and I added some chess and more books because my brother does play chess. But yeah, this is the bathroom. I didn't forget to add a litter box. I wanted to have some more blue in here, so I added that on the shower, and I decided to have the same sink as the one that I had downstairs. It also has that gold that is pretty similar to the one on the shower, and yeah, I just added some more bottles and lotions. There's a toothbrush, and I thought that it would be nice to have two soap bottles because I was thinking that one was for hand cream, and I added a mirror that is also more traditional. But still it kind of looks similar to the Snow Escape one that I was using downstairs. I also decided to size down this table, and I think that I only added a plant, some toilet paper, and something else. I think maybe some combs, I think. But anyway, I went with a spade tile, and I actually forgot to add some toilet paper on the downstairs bathroom, but I did fix that, and I also chose to add the modern version of the toilet paper, because I was thinking that that one was a bit more remodeled than this upstairs one. Maybe they were trying to save some more money on the renovation, and honestly, this toilet looks like it functions perfectly, so why spend money on that? You might see those bottles that go on the wall from Snow Escape. I forgot to add them to the shower while I was building this, but they should be there on the screenshots at the end. And I also decided to have some different blinds in that space. But yeah, now we're back in the kitchen. I added a clock. I wanted to have some more clutter that would fit these sims, so I have these spots so that it looks like they have enough storage for everything, because I thought they might like to cook. And I also added two teapots because I was thinking maybe one would be on the stove and the other one might be just for decoration because maybe they just liked it so much. And some tins that I sized down, so I was thinking they probably have some tea in them. And I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and hopefully it also inspired you to try and decorate this shell yourself. You could make them all into houses, apartments, different businesses. Maybe you would like to merge some of them together so that you could have a larger apartment or a larger business. Maybe you would like to have this be a hotel and it might all be merged together. I don't know. I really want to see what other people choose to do with these shells, so the link is in the description down below, and my ID is Veranio, and please use the hashtag on screen. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next parts of this series, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye everyone!